about us. Think about.
Can you guys hear me? Hold on, can you guys hear me now? Okay. I don't know what that is. I'd like to use my, I'm going to try this one more time. All right, can you guys hear me? Thank you, Edna. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Teresa. You know, I love you guys. Thank y'all for being patient with me. Oddly enough, I muted myself. That's what happened. I muted myself. Can y'all hear me? All right, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Welcome everybody. I'm seeing everybody's getting in here. We're gonna have Andy here with us. All right. I see Teresa. Thank you. TK. Thank you. Jay. Okay, cool. Everybody, we're all on. We're all on here. Megan Inspirations. What's up? Okay, thank you. Thank you over there on Instagrams. All right, we're gonna get to some live questions tonight. I'm waiting on my brother here. I sent him the invite, but real quick, I want to put this up. I don't know if he's in here or not, but we had Jake Hubbard on the Common Sense MD this morning. I'm going to put him up here right now. Eggs, are they the perfect food? Jake, who is the co-owner of Brookhaven Farms. If you're in East Tennessee, you surely have heard of Brookhaven Farms. We are one of their pickup stations. So we get to see people come in and out, picking up their eggs and milk and chicken and beef. It's so cool. Thank you, Jake, for doing this episode talking about eggs. And in fact, what I got from is not all eggs are created equal. You got to be careful about your eggs, and they go over that. So if you haven't watched that episode, please do. I see you, Amanda. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a good question around the beef liver. Great question around the beef. Yes, Roel, I am live on Instagram. As long as Megan's with me. Is Megan still with me on Instagram? Because I'm still there, I think. All right, Leanne, thank you for that question. And then I want to put this up because we get a lot of questions around hormones, and Robin Riddle did an amazing explain this episode on all the different options. And I think it's super helpful for anybody. It's about choosing the right hormone replacement route for women. So she's focusing on women here, talks about pellets, the different capsules, the creams. The thing I liked about it was she went over every option, every option that exists, even options that we don't necessarily recommend. And I appreciated that. She goes over everything in detail, different dosing. So check that out. I'm probably gonna have to change the title a little bit on YouTube. I'm gonna put it up real quick. It's basically bioidentical hormone replacement for women, all your different options, every single one, whether it's commercial. She talks about compounding, the whole gamut. So check that out if that sounds like you, or if you know somebody that might sound like. Morgan, I see you, brother, over in sunny Florida. It's not sunny here, as Andy can attest to in the green room. It's not sunny. I don't think he can hear me. Leanne, I love your question. Thank you. Andy, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to roll. All right. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing?
Ben, brother, look at you in the Christmas spirit.
You know, I have a tree with me everywhere I go.
Dude, yeah. You know what? You're the true reason for the season, Ben.
Got my red hat on here. I see Robin's in here. Robin, what's going on? It was so good to see you this weekend. Robin, I'm gonna put in the comments your video on all the different all the different hormone routes for women. That went up today on YouTube. You did amazing at explaining all the different options. Like I told everybody, you went over everything, every single one. And that's actually how you approach your visits as well. When people are thinking about going on hormone replacement.
Also, I do think it's a nice thing to point out that Robin and I worked on a sorry, can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Okay.
Can you guys hear Andy? Can everybody hear Andy?
No, I'm like getting dings. No, we put together that because there was this kind of when I first started, if you don't know much about hormones, you think bioidentical has to be compounded. And there's a difference there. Compounding and bioidentical is very different. So there are retail versions available of bioidentical hormones. So we have a protocol now of when patients ask about bioidenticals and where they can get them, technically you can get them at retail. So there are other ways to do it. It's not generally the way that we go, but it is available on an option. So Robin was very, very instrumental in that happening, which is great. We want to be able to service our patients however they want to go to. And even I had a patient today that was not really getting the response to treatment for dryness with estriol cream. So it's like, what's our next best step? Do we do estradiol intravaginal cream? Really, do we do DHEA? DHEA is a big thing for intravaginal inserts for vaginal dryness. But there's Intrarosa, which is also a bioidentical DHEA available to retail. And then there's a compounded version as well. So it's all very helpful to know. Like, ask your providers. And if your providers don't know, we are on a text thread. They will find out the answer.
Yeah.
So we have a text thread. I had a patient today ask me about estrogen levels. There's a particular, there was some particular article that came out or some particular statement by Dr. Mary Claire Haber, who's a big menopause expert right now, on estrogen levels too high actually being difficult on bone. So like we all got together to kind of make a consensus of what we think. So it's just Robin, you're great. That was a long-winded answer to be like, thanks, Robin. We get to work in the same office, which is so fun. So I can be like, if I don't know, Robin will know that. Or any of our honestly, all of our providers are so smart.
I think the text thread is really, really cool, and I think it's important that people know that you guys talk every single day. We have what 11 providers now.
11 providers. I think Dad makes 12.
Dad makes 12, and he's on that text thread as well. It's it is super cool to witness, to see you guys talking, learning, helping patients out in the best ways that each of you can. Super cool. I'm gonna put this up real quick because I'm curious too. Is this true?
Edna, come on now. You know that you are Mrs. Claus for me, okay? So I am not. If you want me to be on the naughty list, I'll be on the naughty list, but only your naughty list, okay?
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Edna, for that. we got Gwen in here. Gwen,
oh, yes, these are all such good people. Oh my gosh.
Rachel's ready. Rachel and Wesley are ready for this. And
I have one thing on my 2026 calendar, and it's Wesley's first birthday. So I'm gonna tell you right now, Rachel knows that I am not the world's best texter, and it takes me forever. Like, so you're on the calendar, baby.
I'm putting this up from Linda because Linda, we were so jealous of y'all's New York trip. I saw all the pictures. They looked incredible. It looked absolutely incredible. NYC in the holidays, I've never done it. I just can't imagine it getting any better. Let me get real quick. I see Megan on Instagram. Does it work that I sent questions to IG message? Yes, I can find it. And also, if you're okay, put it in the comments in Instagram. I'll look over there. We'll get to that first, Megan. But I'm looking at it right now. All right, we're gonna get to some live questions. You cool with that, Ange?
Ben, may the Lord be with us. Okay. May the Lord be with us in this room right now,
guys. Can we give Andy some encouragement here? And you got this. You are a 10 out of 10 every single time you do this show. So I just want to send this your way. You're gonna knock this out of the ballpark tonight.
May the Lord be with us and also with you, Ben.
Guys, look,
I do feel like, you know what? Maybe
Montana says you're gonna knock it out of the ballpark today.
Montana,
you're gonna knock it out of the ballpark.
Can we expand Montana's picture? Look how beautiful they are. Look at that beautiful family.
It's such a beautiful family. It's a beautiful family. Montana, thank you for being in here.
Just the freaking bet. Montana, are you ready to practice? Come on, girl.
She's ready.
We're ready.
She's ready. I can tell.
Montana. Oh wait, I don't know if that's public or private information, but Montana may or may not be getting her nurse practitioner. We're wanting her. If it's as a hypothetical situation, we really can't wait for you to start practicing.
I love it. Montana, thank you for being here tonight. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's prayers are up for Andy, and we're gonna do it. Let's start with let's see here. Megan, I'm looking for your if you can put your question in the comments on Instagram. I'll get to that next. And then let me see if I can find. Let's get to Amanda's question. I think Amanda came in today. How many capsules of the beef liver should I take a day?
Yes. Okay. 2. Beef liver is fantastic. Okay. My short answer to that is it does depend on who you get it from. So it kind of depends on the branding. We have one from, don't we carry one in the office, Ben? What is our branding for the one in the office? We carry one in the office.
I know it's from Brookhaven Farms.
It's from Brookhaven. Yes, it's from Brookhaven. And I know that's 5 capsules. So generally I've seen anywhere from 2 to 6 capsules of beef liver, but some of it is looking at where you get it from. There's another product called Heart and Soil that's from Dr. Paul Saladino. That's also good you want to get a good source of the beef liver, and the brand we sell, five's the one. Yep. So that would be a full dose, but you can start as low as 2. So sometimes it depends on what you're doing it for. A lot of times people will go on beef liver to increase their iron and their ferritin, which is iron stores. So if we're looking at that, you can start lower and then increase, but technically a serving size, I believe on that is 5. And even consider doing actual beef liver too. Like, let's say if this doesn't get the intended result that you want, this one really does work well. Brookhaven Farms is amazing. They've got good sourcings and they make everything in-house. It's awesome. But in case you're not getting the intended outcome, look at actually doing actual beef liver. It's weird, but you can just honestly, like, people do it and they take it in orange juice and they do it a couple times a week. Liver used to be more part of our standard nutrition. Like, if I remember when we were kids, Ben, do you remember like Doug Funny?
Yeah, I do. And
Ben
Patty,
was
Patty
a
mayonnaise.
cartoon kid. Ben watched documentaries. Sorry, Ben was watching the NBA. I was watching cartoons. But liver and onions is always a thing. I can't believe they're making us do liver and onions. There used to be actually Ina Garten on a podcast to listen to, Amy Poehler's podcast. She talked about her mom was a nutritionist. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Her mom was a dietitian nutritionist and had a very strict household when it comes to what they ate. And they had routine meals, and liver and onions was part of it. So it's not abnormal to actually eat the actual organ. Most often of how I've used it is using it for iron. So just monitoring your iron, and perfect, Amanda. That's awesome. Whoever you saw today must have known what they were doing. Yes. But watching your iron binding capacity, watching your total iron count, and ferritin will let you know. And if it's been a while, that is a really good one. Vitron C, if you haven't tried Vitron C, iron and vitamin C work really well together. So maybe even incorporating some vitamin C to increase absorption is another good idea. The only thing you want to watch out for is too much vitamin A. So if you're doing retinols, retin A, or if you're taking a lot of vitamin A in other capsules, maybe be careful about that, because you can have vitamin toxicity with vitamin A for sure. But it's a fat soluble vitamin, so vitamin A hangs around. That's not something we'd see with 5 capsules of beef liver, but just be careful in case you're taking other sources of vitamin A. Beef liver really has a high source of it too.
All right, Amanda, thank you for getting us started off real quick. I'm going to put this up from Teresa just because it's very pertinent to what Amanda was just asking about. What do you recommend to increase iron? Asking for someone else and they can't take iron pills, it makes them sick.
That is a tough one. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry that's happening to them, because it can technically. Prescription iron is ferrous sulfate or ferrous gluconate. So those are the 2 prescriptive versions of it. Sometimes one or the other is easier on the stomach. Technically, what they say is that iron is best absorbed on an empty stomach, which can also make people feel constipated or feel nauseous. Usually, to recommend increasing iron, vitamin C with iron, and try Vitron C. That's just the over-the-counter, the one that a lot of people really tolerate well. Another one is beef liver, just like Amanda was putting on there. That's a fantastic source. And then you can find natural versions of iron. A lot of people, if they increase their meat and go more carnivorous, they're going to get more iron. And then there's another one, alfalfa. I've had a patient tell me about alfalfa, and you can just get over-the-counter alfalfa, and that typically helps increase iron too. And it's also making sure too, if it's like, look for sources of lost iron too. Like, make sure this matches a complete blood count, so that we're looking at the health of the red blood cells, also going to be the health of iron too. Women usually have a little bit lower iron just because they've had years of bleeds, of menstrual bleeding, of loss of blood, which can make iron counts a little bit tougher to keep up.
Teresa, thank you for letting us.
It's a great one. Those went well together. Yeah.
And thank you for asking on behalf of your friend. I hope that helps a little bit. I'll put this up from Jazzy. Jazzy, what's going on? We love retinol.
My Jasmine. My Jasmine.
Oh
my gosh. I heard Jasmine went to the part too. We had our performance medicine annual Christmas party where we gave out memberships to the Jelly of the Month Club. And I heard it was so much fun.
We had such a blast. I see Kelsey's in here. Kelsey is so good to
Yes,
see you.
I
Thank you.
did
Thank you
miss
for
you.
being here.
Oh my gosh, Kelsey. Also, too, whenever Kelsey sends me like a task or a note, and it's always so like, "Hey, Andy," it makes me so happy.
I love it.
Thanks. So I got a task from her today, and she's the best.
Angie, what's going on? It's great to see you. Great to see you. Is Bryson watching? Can we make sure Bryson is watching, Angie?
Angie,
we got to make sure Bryson's watching.
I heard between her and Bryson, they were like the king and queen of the dance floor.
King and queen. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I absolutely love that.
Okay, Megan,
I
see you on.
I need a funny meme or a GIF. Angie,
What's that?
Angie, send me something funny. Just send me something to make me giggle.
Make him smile.
I feel like I keep saying this every time I get on here, but your lighting is really good, Ben. You're in a professional studio. I move around quite a bit depending on where I can plug in the computer, but your lighting does look very good.
I think you look great. It's just, I'm so glad you're here. It doesn't.
I know that the lighting makes my eyes look tired right now. I'm not tired, but if I were here, you would see it.
One thing I can tell is there's not a lot of movement up there, so that's a good sign.
Very true.
All right, I'm going to get to Megan's question on Instagram. Megan, I'm going to just read this out here through DMs here. So Anne, just kind of follow me as I read this for a little bit. We'll help out Megan here. My dad had an elevated creatinine level, number between 1 and 1.5 last time I want to say, and his EGFR has been in the 50s and 60s. We met with a nephrologist today for the first time, and he seemed to think that on paper my dad has stage 3A CKD, but that his creatinine is normal for someone his age, which is 68, and that there's no concern as he has mostly been in this range with his EGFR and creatinine for a while. The doctor doesn't see my dad ever getting to the point of needing dialysis down the road. It was so different from everything I've read, and I'm trying to understand and figure out what is right. He doesn't have high blood pressure, so no diabetes that we know of, but he does have high LDL cholesterol and is struggling with gout. Would you agree with this perspective from his doctor today, and/or do you have any insight to add?
Oh, those are all really good, but I'm sorry that's occurring. I know that can be scary, especially when a lot of that I think needs further explanation. When you say someone has chronic kidney disease, which is CKD, no matter what the staging, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, typically, to my understanding of staging of chronic kidney disease is just what those numbers look like, what the filtration rate looks like, what protein spillage looks like through a urinalysis. If they did a urinalysis, they're usually looking for something called microalbumin or protein spillage. All this is looking at is, are the kidneys filtering and is there damage? So creatinine, not creatine, but creatinine is part of a complete metabolic panel that is a kidney function, that is a kidney lab value. There's usually kidney damage. But I'm going to say this with a grain of salt. So just some definitions. That's what creatinine is. GFR is the filtration rate, glomerular filtration rate. So the glomerulus, like all that, they're the glomeruli, they filter the kidneys. So it's how I always say, how often are the pool filters, like the filters on a pool, how much are they spinning? In a GFR in the 50s or 60s for a 68-year-old is not crazy. I've seen lower on younger people. So it's not crazy in my opinion. So I think what that physician or provider said is a fair statement. Creatinine levels between 1 and 1.5, though it's elevated and though GFR is lower, usually anything below 60 is going to be flagged. Even though those are flagged, I usually like to say what else is in the picture. So you're right. Hypertension can put stress on the kidneys. So if blood pressure looks good, that's usually not a causative agent. Diabetes too can cause vessel damage because there's increased glucose. It's an easy test if you haven't tested for that. Usually glucose will be elevated on that same metabolic panel, and checking a hemoglobin A1C. But also just looking at if he's not drinking enough water, if his electrolytes are off. And then 2, water, electrolytes, and protein intake. So protein can really clog if protein is a big macronutrient, especially for a male, and especially for a male who has a lot of muscle mass. I see kidney function sometimes just be looking off on a lab, but not necessarily saying that it's, even though it's going to be the technical definition of chronic kidney disease, I don't think it's worrisome chronic kidney disease. I think that's just a label they put on anything where GFR is below 60. So really, I think keeping in mind the trajectory of how that changes. So if creatinine continues to go up, or if GFR continues to go down, despite changes in what you do to help out those numbers, like increasing hydration, everyone is chronically dehydrated. Most people do not get the water that they need. It's usually a half an ounce per pound, with an ideal of a pound per ounce of water. Most people end up needing a gallon of water. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of water that we need. So at least getting a gallon of water a day, where you're really pushing through and filtering those kidneys. Another test that you can do is something called cystatin C and a red blood cell magnesium. Those are other indicators of, like, to me, more true kidney disease. But most of them, what they do is they might put you on a protective mechanism like a losartan or a lisinopril. Those are prescription blood pressure medicines that typically help out the enzymes associated with the kidneys and with the lungs, that then put pressure on the kidneys. I always say they soften and relax the kidneys a little bit, and a low dose losartan or lisinopril typically can help out with those numbers and just protect them. But really the biggest thing is water, seeing if protein or muscle mass is part of why those numbers may be off, and then monitoring for the trends. But for 68 in those numbers, I would, if it were me checking, I would check a cystatin C, red blood cell magnesium, make those changes, and see if any labs change. That was a very wordy answer. I apologize, but sometimes Dad's really big on not freaking out on a lab unless it deserves to be freaked out on. Yeah. So usually with those numbers, it's not a red flag, but it's a flag to say, hey, do we need further testing or more part of the story?
Megan, will you let me know in the comments? Let me know if that helps, and then I'm going to get to your follow-up here in just a second. I'm going to go to YouTube real quick and get where was I missed the YouTube one that came through to Leanne. Is that cool, Megan? Let me know in the comments if that helps, and then we'll get back to the follow-up.
Ben, you're a real podcaster. Look at you.
This is from Leanne. Leanne, thank you for being with us as always. A friend has plaques on body psoriasis. What's your suggestion for moving forward? Friend is about to go on a prescription that doc recommended. What about cleaning up the diet and gut?
Psoriasis. Oh, my dear friend. Oh, my friend. So, I go through bouts of this. So this is a good question for me, because I know a little bit about it, and I've experienced it. Plaque psoriasis is a little bit different than there's guttate psoriasis, plaque psoriasis, and there's something called psoriaform. There's even something called SIBO psoriasis, which is seborrheic dermatitis and psoriasis. To me, psoriasis is an inflammatory condition. A lot of the times that deals with your immune systems. I would put this more in the autoimmune category that doesn't necessarily, to my knowledge, have a lab value and antibody associated with it. What they can do is how I really got diagnosed, and this is no joke, a lot of it is just with dermatologists. They look at it. They look at you and go, that's psoriasis. And that's what happened. I went to one of the best dermatologists in Kingsport, Dr. Sago, a good friend of Dad's. She's incredible. And I've always thought it was seborrheic. She walked into the room and she goes, oh, Andy, this is psoriasis. Like, no lab. She's like, this is psoriasis. This is what it is. So much of it is more about the look of it, especially if it's going in plaques. What's kind of pathognomonic for psoriasis is these kind of silvery plaques, and sometimes they can be on the extensor surfaces. They can be over the bodies. Sometimes they can be nummular, where they're in different, like, circular formats. The suggestion for moving forward, you're spot on with your diet and gut, because the gut is your immune system. It's a large percentage of your immune system. Most often what happens is that when the gut is off, skin is off too. So to totally really being the hard part about gut and nutrition is you got to be strict with it. Like you really do. Like for me with psoriasis, I know this is fortunately and unfortunately and a little bit of a judgment call, but I know that if I went strict carnivorous diet, if I never touched a glass of wine again, if I only ate things as organic, if you do all those things where you're doing something called an autoimmune protocol, a lot of those issues go away. They do. It's sometimes really hard to do in the real world, but it does exist and people do keep a lot of that at bay. It doesn't necessarily cure it, but what it does is it keeps it at bay. A lot of it is you want to prevent flares. The prescription that the doctor might recommend, usually what they start off is with disease modifying agents called methotrexate. And sometimes that just disrupts the bad parts of your immune system. I'm sure I'm not explaining methotrexate right. I need to look over the mechanism of action, but methotrexate can be hard on your system and hard on your liver. And then to another one that they might try are some of the biologics. Those are really big right now. Anything that ends in MAB, the MABs, and they have like names like Dupixent and Skyrizi and Enbrel, Humira. All those block interleukins, and that you can look on the mechanism of action. Interleukins are interleukin, part of the white blood cell. So if the white blood cell is your immune system and it's overactive, you can have overactive interleukins. So I would have your friend look up interleukins, and usually the prescriptions are going to target certain interleukins that really become exacerbated with psoriasis. The good part about those, if it's that particular prescription, is that a lot of them work. A lot of them totally work because they target the interleukins, but also you're decreasing your whole immune system with it. So it does kind of put you at risk for opportunistic infection because you're lowering a hyperactive immune system. So for me, that's a little bit of a risk benefit. People will do topical steroids, fluocinolone, Lidex, things that just help kind of calm the inflammatory process. But sometimes it's really just tough on your skin in the long run and can really thin the skin if you overuse steroids, especially topical steroids at higher doses. What I would tell your friend is look up Dr. Gundry Autoimmune Plan Nutrition. I would look up low-dose naltrexone that blocks interleukins in a little less invasive way than some of the standard prescriptions. And then anything to decrease stress. I know that sounds so silly, but stress increases interleukins. That has been proven. And de-stressing can help. Breathing techniques, meditation, doing anything that will stimulate your nervous system, like cold plunges, hot saunas, red light therapy, infrared, all that really helps. That's a great question.
Leanne, thank you for that, and great explanation there. And I'm gonna, and Leanne, let me know in the comments if that helps. If we need any more context. We put this up from D. Lynn, asking for a friend. Thank you, D. Lynn. Will ivermectin help with cirrhosis of the liver?
Got it. Okay. So not to my knowledge, a direct effect. Now, I don't know if it necessarily hurt. It depends on the dosing of ivermectin. If I'm looking at ivermectin, cirrhosis, and liver, I'm thinking ivermectin and fenbendazole, these dewormers, antiparasitics, in higher doses can actually increase liver enzymes. So I'd actually think this more of a contraindication rather than it's going to help. There might be something out there that I'm not familiar with saying that it might improve liver function, but we always look out for it more as a contraindication rather than an indication. And so if we're at cirrhosis of the liver, what usually the progression of the liver and what happens is that you have kind of a healthy liver that then can turn into kind of what they call a metabolic associated. It used to be called non-alcoholic or fatty associated liver, but they call it metabolic associated steatosis or fatty liver that turns into a fibrosis and then cirrhosis. Is it fibrosis and cirrhosis? It's either fibrosis, cirrhosis, or cirrhosis, fibrosis. And I believe it's fibrosis, then cirrhosis. And two, it's hardening. All that is doing is there's changes within these hepatocytes or liver cells that then harden, and then you get this really, really tough liver. And what we want to do is alleviate some of the pressure on the liver and give it a rest. The liver really filters. It's the filter of the body. So we really want to be kind to our liver. So usually if I were looking at cirrhosis of the liver, I would do anything, and I would usually honestly just use Google, AI, whatever you can use as far as online resources to eliminate anything that's going to hurt it. Tylenol, I'm sure that's already been said, Tylenol, alcohol. If there's anything contributing to cirrhosis like diabetes, hypertension, working on anything that's there. And then two, my big thing is milk thistle or N-acetylcysteine or NAC. Those would be the two I'd go for over ivermectin. I think ivermectin at a lower dose twice a week if they want to take it for more of a preventative for infections, COVID, keeping it in your system, I don't think is going to hurt at a 0.2 milligram per kilogram. But anything higher, I don't think would be, I think would honestly might be more harmful. If there's anybody that knows any more about like recent studies about ivermectin specifically for cirrhosis, I'd love to know. But that's how I'd approach this, is I would look at milk thistle and I would look at N-acetylcysteine.
D-Lynn, thank you for asking that question on behalf of your friend. That's a great question. I'm going to get to Facebook real quick if I can find. I'm going to preface it with this. Anna misses you.
Anna Laws. Oh, yes. Oh, Anna, I miss you. Look, what is in your picture? Anna, are you in a masquerade? I love looking at everyone's picture.
Anna is asking, what supplement do you recommend for memory?
Oh, that's a good question. So memory is interesting. Like, there's one called Prevagen. I don't have a lot of experience with Prevagen, but that's supposed to be for cognitive function. I believe it's with the jellyfish, something with the jellyfish is Prevagen. I would need to look that up and see, but I don't have a lot of experience with that with patients. There is one called Cognitex from Life Extension that's supposed to be for cognitive function that helps out. Really, what I would do for memory is I would look at it more from an Alzheimer's prevention game. I would look at methylene blue. I would look at omega-3s and like the fatty acids. Your brain is made up of a lot of rich omega-3s, rich in DHA and EPA. So getting good fatty acids into your brain and taking those religiously. I would do something to stimulate your brain every day, stay in community. I would exercise and get really, really good sleep. And then of course your hormones. Your hormones are so important. Estrogen for memory. I had a patient today. She's like, I've never felt clearer in my brain than when I'm on estrogen in higher doses. So I would look at it more from hormones, nutrition with omega-3s. Omega-3s are fatty acids that are non-essential. You have to get them from in the environment. Then I would look at methylene blue because it works on the mitochondria of the cell. And if you make the powerhouse of the cell work better, usually the cell stays alive and you get nice younger cells. The other cells that are senescent or old end up going away. And then two, sleeping and getting really good deep REM sleep. It's like a vacuum for your cerebral spinal fluid, which helps out with memory, cognitive function the next day. So those would be what I would look at. And then two, if you're like, I just want something for memory, Cognitex is the one I'm most familiar with from Life Extension. And people like it. People like that a lot. But really, I think the other ones hit a little bit harder.
Anna, thank you so much for that question.
And practice
being here.
Practice your memory. I mean, I know that sounds crazy,
that's true.
but I'm in a show right now in Oak Ridge. Come see our Christmas show if you're in the Knoxville area. It's a holiday variety hour and a half, and it is very fun. I feel very lucky that I've gotten to work with great theaters like Oak Ridge Playhouse, up in the Tri-Cities, Jonesboro Repertory Theater. I've even worked in what we call the Lake District with Encore Theatricals in Morristown. So really great community theaters. Memorizing lines makes your brain think. And two, I was like, at first I have this big monologue in this one. I'm like, oh my God. And then I thought, actually, this is good for my brain. Repeat it, get it in there, memorize it, feel it. And it makes you be on your toes. So stay on your toes. A lot of it is practice. You got to make your brain work. If you don't make your brain work, it's not going to work.
Is there any, in your experience with theater, obviously you have to memorize lines all the time. Has there been like a trick that you've been able to do? Like, how do you actually memorize all those lines? Is there like a method?
Yeah. And there's a method for me. Everyone has.
How do you do it?
Some people like write on note cards, line by line. I usually start at the top and be like, okay, do I have my starting sentence structure? If it's a monologue, it's like, when's the next idea come? When's the next idea come? So you have your landmarks. If you get lost, you're like, okay, my next landmark is despite the warning, or the spiritual, whatever the next thing is. Sometimes what I'll do is I can see it in my head what it looks like. It's not a photographic memory, but I can picture what the text looks like in my head. And I'll be like, if there's a word that starts with an A in the sentence, and then it has another important word that's later in the alphabet, I'll be like, okay, this sentence is an AF. So I know I need to hit Andy before Frank. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or like, so I'm like, oh, this sentence has Andy, Frank, and here's the sentence, and it goes.
Yeah.
Or I know that I need to say and 3 times, or there's a list in this sentence. So I think about it that way of, here's my list, bum, bum, ba-dum. And it's almost like more rhythmic. But I do it with word associations.
That's interesting.
Like, I'm trying to think of a line that like the monologue starts off with, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree, and then it moves on from there. Then the next sentence is, and all went to be taxed. So it's like, there went out a decree that all of everyone, all should be taxed. So I'm like, all and all. If I hit all and all, I got it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And it makes your brain think that way.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. Thank you for that question, Anna. Letting us teeing us up on that. Real quick, I see Samantha's in here from our Abingdon office. So
yes. Oh, Samantha. Hey, Samantha, you are so sweet in your call today. I'm sorry. I was walking into a room as we were talking on the phone. So I apologize if I was like quick to get off. But Samantha, I'm telling you, you know what you're doing, girl. You know what you're doing.
Samantha, so good to see you. So good to see you and Cody Saturday. I see, and this is true, Anna, keeping score in pickleball is good for your brain. There is no doubt about it.
Pickleball is amazing. It really, I'm telling you, it's amazing. It makes you think.
Let's get to Jerry in the UK. Before Christmas, I've got to have general surgery, electrochemotherapy. What supplements have I got to stop? Can I still take my MCP? Or what do you suggest? My pre-op is Thursday. Well, Jerry, we are thinking about you this week. Thank you for being here tonight. And Jerry,
these are great questions. Yeah, and I'm sorry. Well, too. I think you'll do fantastic during this. I would say, just from a general advisement, whatever your surgeon says, whoever's doing the surgery, definitely follow what their guidelines say. I would tell them that. I mean, they may tell you to stop all of them, but I would definitely, when you're going under something like this, even if you don't feel like telling them everything, I would tell them everything you're taking. And then within reason, discontinue. Usually what they're looking for whenever you're doing surgery is anything that's going to make you bleed, or anything that's going to slow gastrointestinal, you slow down your gastrointestinal tract, so that because being, if they're putting you out, if they're putting you under anesthesia, it can slow your stomach even more. And you don't want things to be slowed and things to be stuck while you're going under anesthesia. And then 2, with bleeds, if they can't stop a bleed because you're having so many things that are making you bleed, and those can come from over the counters, like omega-3s, pycnogenol. I would look at anything you're taking and saying, does this make me bleed more freely? Usually that's a good thing. In the case of surgery, not a good thing. Forgive me, I do not know MCP. So if you let me know MCP, then I may be able to give you another suggestion on that. But really, it's anything that's going to slow gastrointestinal. So if you're on semaglutide, tirzepatide, anything that's going to slow the gut, I would stop that. Anything that's going to make you bleed, stop that too. And it's usually a couple days before. If it's semaglutide tirzepatide, sometimes they make you stop that a week or two before. Modified citrus pectin. I don't know enough about MCP. You might have to teach me about the modified citrus pectin. But I think if that has any sort of bleed risk, then I would stop it. So I would look up your naturals individually and say what's got a bleed risk. In anything, my big thing would be the omegas. Stop omegas. Stop an aspirin. Stop pycnogenol. And I would look further into modified citrus pectin. That has a bleed risk to it.
Jerry, thank you for.
Hey,
this
we're sending
question.
good vibes for you, girl.
Yeah.
You're going to do fantastic. Fantastic.
We're thinking about you as always, Jerry. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna go back to Instagram. I see that. Let's see here. One, I see Bryson's in the building. Bryson, what's going on, man? It's so good to see you.
Bryson, what?
Bryson's over here on Instagram. I'm gonna.
Oh,
I want to get to
my
H. Buckland real quick. And I'm gonna read this out for you, Ange, because I can't put it up here. It's H. Buckland. The question is 36-year-old female. I get red, splotchy, and warm with a lot of social interactions. Social anxiety. Is there anything that can help with this? I take ashwagandha, no prescribed medication. So red, splotchy, and warm.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this for H. Buckland?
I've totally seen it. I had a professor in PA school that would happen every time she kind of came here, and it's almost like the nervousness part of it ticked in. It has a name, and the name is escaping me off the top of my head. But it's almost like your nervous system takes over, and it makes you have this flushed-looking appearance through vasodilation. A lot of it, too, to me, is it's like your body knows when it needs to shunt blood to the right places. What happens is that sometimes it can just do too much of it, and you get this flushed appearance. A lot of it is to what we do for social anxiety too is propranolol. It's a beta blocker, 10 milligrams. I've restarted that recently, and it is remarkable how much it works. All it does is slow your heart rate. So if your heart rate's going like this, it's going to slow it down. And as you slow down the heart rate, you feel calmer. And if you feel calmer, your nervous system is going to go down. A lot of the times too, you can get in a cold bath, but you're not going to do that in these particular situations. But cooling helps decrease. It's almost like a Valsalva maneuver. A Valsalva maneuver really slows down heart rate and slows down and increases a parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic is rest and relaxation. Fight or flight is sympathetic nervous system. And we want to get into parasympathetic in those types of situations to help decrease that flushing. So really, I would look at a nice as needed beta blocker. They call it a pill in the pocket. At 10 milligrams, I can't name a side effect from that low of a dose. It just slows your heart rate. If you already have a really low heart rate like bradycardia, then maybe consider not taking it, but it works hella good. It works really, really good. I take it and really, really love it. But that's what's happening. It's the nervous system that's overactive. And sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes, a lot of times I've seen it. I know 2 people with it, both practitioners, and a lot of it is you can't help it. That's just how your body responds and reacts. But that's one way that you can kind of decrease and modify that risk of it happening.
H. Buckland, let me know in the comments. I'm still over there on Instagram. I'm going to get to MC Porter as well. But let me know if that helps. And Ange, I'm going to read off this question from MC Porter. It's a great question. It's a common one we get here on the show. I am interested in trying methylene blue orally. Is it available over the counter? Can you tell me all the benefits? So this is around methylene blue.
Methylene blue is amazing. Yes, absolutely. Have at it. It is available over the counter. As low as 0.5 milligrams in like liquid form to 7.5 to 15 milligrams in a tablet form. It can get messy. It's blue and can turn your mouth blue and your fingers blue, and it can stain a lot of stuff. Some people don't like the taste of it, but what methylene blue is, it's a dye that they used to dye blue jeans. I believe it was in the late 1800s. Someone might need to fact check that. and they found that it had antimicrobial activity whenever they saw it on a microscope on the genes. And then they would use these slides to actually use methylene blue and an agar plate to look at viruses and bacteria when you're looking at it on a microscope. So they started using it in hospital settings and an IV in codes. And what they found is that methylene blue is going to get sciencey, but it goes through the electron transport chain. There's four little spots of the electron transport chain that sits in the mitochondria. Think of it as little belts in a factory, like belt 1, belt 2, belt 3, belt 4, all creating energy so that it's creating a product, sending it out. If one of them shuts down, then the powerhouse, the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, can't send out all it needs in its factory belt. If 2 get shut down, even worse. The factory is going to die. If the mitochondria dies, that cell's done. So we want to work on the mitochondria. Methylene blue comes in and flushes out all the inconsistencies, all the impurities and impairments in all 4 electron transport chains. There's a great explanation of this. I'm sure Robin has one. But if not, Scott Scher is kind of the leading expert on methylene blue. And he explains all the science behind him. I've been to his lectures. I love it. I find it very useful. I had a patient today say it was amazing. People sometimes think more clearly on methylene blue, but benefits can include decreased risk of getting infections. So people they feel like their immune system is more intact. It really has most benefit directly on the mitochondria. Sometimes that's hard to measure. So with measuring, I feel like I don't get sick as often. I feel like if I do get sick and double up the dosings, which we have ideas about our dosing in office, if you ever want an educational sheet on it, you feel like the sickness goes away more quickly. I've had people give it for prostatitis. I've had people give it for lung infections, you name it. People have gotten rid of stuff. People have they done topical? They've done topical ivermectin, actually. And castor oil is good for topical too. But some people think more clearly on it. They feel like they're on Adderall or ADD medication because their brain just opens up. It's great. Too, when you use IV, people feel oxygenated. There's some sort of comparison with oxygen that it can help out with. But really, to my understanding, methylene blue's on the mitochondria. And I'd say cognitive function. That would be my number one thing, and really bumping up your immune system.
And let's see, I'm going to go back real quick. MC Porter, it is OTC. You can, if you want the capsules, we have it. It's called NeuroPro Plus. It's on our website, performancemedicine.net. You'll see it in our vitamin store.
Your urine will turn blue.
Yes, it will. Thank you, MC Porter. All right, let's keep moving here real quick for Megan. Megan on Instagram is asking, is taking allopurinol every day to prevent gout harmful for the body and or safe for the kidneys?
I think it's fine. I think that's fine. Yes. Okay. I'll double check on it for the kidneys, but no, I think especially for decreasing gout, yeah, you want to keep gout out. And also to look at nutritional prevention. I'm sure you're already doing that, but it's not eating purine rich foods for gout. So that's another way that you can like kind of decrease those risks. But I think allopurinol is fine. I'm almost positive Dad's fine with allopurinol. The other treatment for that's colchicine. You're going to actually use colchicine for heart issues too. But to another natural version, if you're looking for natural version, I'm pretty sure is tart cherry.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
And real quick, I'm going to add this for Megan. If you don't have high uric acid, is it still helpful to take for gout prevention?
Oh, I'd say only no. I wouldn't do that as just like anybody go on it. No, okay. That's not what I would seek out. Okay. No, I would say like if people go on metformin, even though they don't have diabetes or prediabetes, I say yes, anti-inflammatory risk, but I wouldn't add allopurinol to that. Right now, I kind of like metformin, losartan as prescriptions, rapamycin, prescriptions for preventatives that I think are worth it that decrease your inflammation. Low-dose naltrexone is another one of those too.
Thank you, Megan, for that over on Instagram. I'm going to get to Michael Hill. Michael, thank you so much. Michael's just trying tesamorelin. So day 2 of peptides, tesamorelin and BPC 157. And I may be crazy, but my workouts the last 2 days have been fire. I love it. Think it's placebo, or could I really be feeling it? Here's the giggle. My 7-year-old informed me that he's going to be a doctor because he knew diarrhea is hereditary. I love it.
It runs in your gene. He's going to be a comedian and a doctor. Good for him. I do not think that's placebo at all, especially if you're injecting. Injections work very quickly. So no, I think that absolutely can be working more quickly. To me, this doesn't need a buildup. I always say sometimes people feel it a little bit faster than others. It does depend just on your body and your natural response to medications and injections. But if you're injecting Tessa and BPC, BPC is body protective compound 157. It can help out with repair. Tesamorelin is great for insulin growth like factor 1, for growth hormone. It also decreases belly fat, abdominal fat. That's a great combo. A way to measure that, Michael, if you're just curious about like, hey, am I crazy or not, is looking more at in-body scans or something like a body impedance score to see if your basal metabolic rate has changed and to see if basal metabolic rate has changed and muscle content has changed. Yeah, that's it. But two, I don't think that's placebo. Absolutely. And if so, way more power to it. I love the power of placebo. I tell people we have many Katie's at the office, Katie Hodge in our Knoxville office. We're big on mantras. We're affirmation people.
I love it.
We have affirmations every day.
Michael, keep us posted with how you're doing on tesamorelin and BPC. I love that combo. Real quick with Lisa here. I'm gonna put Lisa up. Thank you, Lisa, for being here as always. Is there any way of helping your GFR to a better level? If so, what would that be?
Yeah, I appreciate you, Lisa. Yeah, so that kind of goes along with that kidney question that we had earlier. Hydration, number one. Watching what protein intake looks like. If you're really stacked up on protein and you want your GFR to look a little bit better, it's decreasing protein. In most cases, I just think we need more protein. So I feel like that's a hit or miss, but that's a way to technically increase that number. I would look at sodium, potassium, and look at what those electrolytes look like, and maybe consider doing an electrolyte, because you want water. You want to absorb water, and salt and water work really well together, the right type of salt. So I would look at doing electrolytes, a really clean electrolyte, a couple times a week, once a day. I mean, God, the electrolytes are amazing, and then really hamming it up on water.
Lisa, thank you so much. Real quick, I'm going to get from Michael. I believe Michael's in Knoxville. We do have an InBody in the West Knoxville office. I see Lauren here. Lauren, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much. If you're asking about InBody, we have that in West Knoxville as well. If you're, I believe you're in Knoxville, but if you're in JC, it's in JC also.
Oh, JC and Knoxville. Those are the two that we have. Yes, absolutely. We open it up to patients. It doesn't take very long at all.
Yeah, just come on in. Thank you so much, Michael. And thank you, Lauren. I love you. It was so good to see Lauren on Saturday.
Yeah, I wish I got to see everybody. Oh, God, I hate that. I heard it was an awesome party.
It was. Speaking of awesome, here's Angie's question. Angie was amazing. Angie, so good to see you in here. And Bryson, I believe, is on Instagram.
Talks me, I guess.
Angie is asking, what should a person be tested for if you have protein in your urine? The person's not pregnant and not diabetic.
God, that's good. I would look at, to me, that's different. So yes, if there's protein spillage in the urine, I would definitely look at a metabolic panel and see what GFR, all those kidney stuff. This is a big kidney night. Looking at the finer details at the kidney, that to me I would look at maybe a 24-hour urine catch. I would look at GFR, creatinine. I would look at cystatin C, red blood cell magnesium. I would do the standard more in-depth kidney function test through blood serum, and I would do a 24-hour urine catch. I would just see how much protein spillage there is over 24 hours. instead of just a spot one. And then two, with not being pregnant, not diabetic, that's great. Those can put stressors on the kidney. But also looking at blood pressure too, and seeing if blood pressure or heart rate are elevated. But those would be my looks at it. Then looking at a scan of the kidneys to see what's in there. Yeah, because if you're having protein spillage and it's not diabetes related, that's something to consider and look at. And with scans, I need to double check. I don't know. I think it's a CT scan of the kidneys. It's either CT or ultrasound first. I would need to beef up on that to see which one comes first. I don't think MRI is the first choice. It's either CT or ultrasound. No, and I swear I think it's a CT of the kidneys. That's how you look at a scan that way.
Angie, thank you so much for being here. I'm
one.
going to put this up from Debbie. This will be our last question, then we're going to let Andy go. This is from my sister over in Australia.
Time, baby.
Debbie's in Australia, so it's Wednesday morning for her. Thank you, Debbie, for being here early.
Thank you so much for being here.
Question is, just been diagnosed with, is this celiac or with celiac alone with type 1? Is it possible to cure celiac? I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
You are celiac, yeah, and it just has a different spelling in different places, but yeah, that's So celiac is gluten intolerance, and it's actually not even gluten sensitivity, but gluten intolerance, and that is not very common, but it's much more common with type 1s. Type 1s can absolutely get that celiac component with it too. So too, the curing, I mean, it's fortunate and unfortunate, but it's avoiding gluten. That's the treatment for it, to keep it in remission. It's kind of like one of those things where celiac's most likely always going to be there, but avoiding gluten it's going to stay dormant. Really, celiac only responds to gluten. So too, if it were me, I would be very strict about doing a gluten-free nutrition plan, then looking at how you really help like the villi of the microbiome kind of shore up. They call it a leaky gut sometimes, but just really protecting the microbiome, maybe looking at oral BPC 157, colostrum, things that are healthy for the gut. Celiac though, avoiding gluten, especially if it's truly diagnosed celiac disease. You can do a tissue biopsy through a colonoscopy. There's a blood test for it too with, I believe, anti-tissue glutamase, I forget, anti-TTG, to see if it's true celiac, because there's something with a gluten sensitivity and true celiac.
Debbie, thank you for being with us as always.
My fellow type 1, I'm here for you, girl.
We love you, Debbie. Thank you for being here. I'm going to put this up from TK, and you might not have seen it. I read this article.
I didn't see it.
He wrote an article in Elite FTS. He mentioned a number of performance medicine
Wait,
people.
resend it to me, Tom. I missed it.
Andy would love to read this. It was so
I would
good.
love to.
Thank you so much. I know Amber was mentioned in there, but we appreciate you, Tom. Thank you.
No, I didn't
so
see
cool.
that. Will you resend it to me? No, I apologize. I would love to read that, Tom. That means so much.
TK, we love you, brother.
Did you need a headshot? This is my side for the
guys.
You need a headshot.
Real quick, will you show Andy some love in the comments? Show him some love.
Oh,
let us know how he did. I give him a 10. I see Roel's already given him a 10.
Roel, come on now.
I'm going to put this up from Samantha. If H. Buckland is still watching on Instagram, propranolol is a great for nervous flushing. Thank you, Samantha, for this. And I'm probably butchering the pronunciation.
Hey, this
thanks, Debbie. Look at that. TK is giving you 1,000.
TK,
I love it.
On.
I love it. I love it.
This
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We're gonna turn that off. We're gonna get this video taken down.
See if Angie gets that. I guarantee you she'll get that. Rachel will get it too.
Angie, Rachel, did we get it? Thank you, guys. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Roel. We love you back. Thank you, Jerry. Guys, thank y'all so much. Andy, thank you for your time tonight. We're gonna go get some dinner here, guys. Thank y'all for always being here 7 to 8, helping us make this show great. Y'all's questions just are always so amazing and lets us talk about things that we're super passionate about. So thank you so much, D-Lynn. Thank you. 10 plus. This is amazing.
Thank you, D-Lynn. Thank you.
And I love you, brother.
I love you too, Ben. I love you too.
Brad, can you take this away? Can you send this into our Tuesday evening? Brad, take it away. I love everybody. We will see you next Tuesday, 7 to 8, answering all your health and wellness questions.
Don't go away.